So the Hobbywing 1080 has been the king of budget brushed ESCs for quite a while now, but there's a new kid in town. Let's see if it stacks up. Hey folks, and welcome back. Happy New Year. Hope you had a good Christmas break. Apologies there's not been a video out for a little while, but that's partly because of Christmas and partly because I've had a bad back and therefore didn't really feel up to doing this sort of stuff. But anyway, the back is on the mend, and today we're going to have a look at a new ESC. This ESC has come out from a company called ISDT. This is their sort of first entry, I think, into this kind of ESC market. I've been using ISDT, that's going to get me, been using ISDT chargers for quite a while now. I've been very impressed with them for charging LiPos. Nice little compact units, great for field charging, keep one in the van, all sorts of things. This little bad boy though, is a little bit different. So let's take a look, we'll break it down, see what you get, and see if it's any good. So first of all, quick unboxing. Nice packaging, quite like that. Nice cardboard box, some instructions, and a nicely packaged unit. So I got this from AliExpress, from the ISDT store on AliExpress. It came within a couple of weeks, so that wasn't too bad. Slight pain, and that is going to be the pain until these are sort of stocked a little bit more, what's the word, until these are better stocked certainly in the UK. We're going to be stuck with AliExpress and a 2-week lead time, so hopefully this thing's not going to die, because the alternative is a long wait or putting a 1080 back in, because they are common. You can get them everywhere. Anyway, in the packaging we have the unit itself. Note there that there are no connectors whatsoever, so you are going to need an XT60 or a Dean's or whatever the battery connector is of choice, which is probably why they've done it, because there's a few different battery connectors out on the market. Different people use different things. I'm an XT60 guy, so I have got some XT60s because I'd ran out unbelievably. But also there are no motor connections on there either, so you're either going to need some bullet connectors to crimp on there, or you're going to have to direct solder that to your motor. Now I'm quite happy to direct solder that to my motor, and that's exactly what I'll be doing. So it's a nice metal case, 2 connection ports on the main device, and there are a few wires that come with it. So one of those is going to be the on-off switch, and the other one is going to be the connection to your receiver. So the on-off switch that it comes with is a little sort of button type. It's got quite a nice tacked switch in there. It's a good positive click, which is good. Fairly short lead, but hopefully that will be long enough based on the vehicle that I'm going to put it in. And a connection for your receiver, pigtail, and some rather handy colour-coded heat shrink. The instructions are in Chinese and English. It's fairly simple wiring, as you would expect. So as you look at the device from the top, you have the switch connection that side, which would be the left, my left, and the receiver connection on the right. So I'm going to plug those in now while I think about it, making sure we get the polarity correct. And then of course the next thing we've got to do before we can do anything else is solder some connections on. So I'll get onto that now. There we go, we're all connected up. I think we're ready to go. Now initially when I connected this up with a battery that was a storage charge, so about 11.2 volts for a 3S. Actually it was a bit lower than storage charge. Still got some oomph in it. I got nothing. This thing will look like it was DOA. However, we do now appear to have some life. So the next job is to download the app, because this thing is Bluetooth. It is available from the Play Store. It is called ISD Go. So if we do a search for ISDT, there it is, ISD Go. We will install that. And we're ready. So request storage access. Not quite sure why it needs that. We'll figure that out. And the first thing we need to do, obviously, is get the two things connected. Right, so that's now flashing blue. Okay, so it's now asking for my location information, which I'm never happy about. But it's now scanning. It's found the ESC. Add this device. Some interesting English going on here. And in the meantime, that's gone into an error state. So that's not going to connect. So we'll turn it off again. And we're in blue. We'll refresh. Just found it. Add it. And now we're connected. Yes. And we have an error message again. So let's see if it tells us, now that we're connected, what the error message is. Okay, found new firmware. Are you updating now? Okay. Please keep the phone away from the device. Do you want to continue? Okay. Over-the-air firmware upgrades. So that's a good start. We like that. This is a little bit twitchy, this process, in terms of connecting it. You've got to be quick. But it does seem to have connected, and it does seem to be holding that connection up okay. So, fingers crossed. I'm pretty sure the error that it's flashing is because we haven't done the throttle calibration, so we'll do that as soon as this is updated. And in the meantime, have a cup of tea. Okay, that's stopped halfway through. Maybe I was too busy messing around. Let's go back on that. Let's do the throttle calibration then. Remote calibration. So we have neutral. It's fine. Comes up calibrating. Calibration successful. Hold on, I wanted to screen record this. Okay. Next. So go all the way in. Calibration successful. Next. All the way to reverse. Ooh, lots of lovely beeps. Next. Okay, so in theory, right, mode selection, I want rock crawler. So that's set me up. Forward reverse, battery type LiPo, 3S, cut-off voltage 6 volts, that feels a little bit low. Okay, that's better. So I'm going to say I want you to cut off at 10.5 volts. I want my back voltage to be much more than 5 volts. So I'm going to go 7.4 because I have a high voltage servo in there, which is good. Motor rotation, I think forward, LiPo cells 3S. Save those parameters. So I suspect one of my LEDs wasn't working because the BEC was set to 5 volts, which was probably too low for them because they're 7.4 volt LEDs. There we go. So we've now got full-on lights, which is great. I'm going to still keep that unplugged for now. And do we now have any forward motion? Don't think we will while we're connected to Bluetooth. So, oh, my phone's just locked. That's annoying. I need to stop recording as well. So other things we can quickly check. Do we want to rename it? No, not particularly. So there's some really interesting stuff on here. So there is a throttle curve and a brake curve. So definitely going to have a play with that another day. There's some start music that you can change. Oh, not really into that. Other than I may change it from that silly tune to something a little bit more beep beep beep, and that's enough. And system information, it's giving me the hardware version, which is good. So there we go. there's lots of cool stuff that you can change, and lots of adjustment, starting force, braking force, all of those kind of things. Looks pretty cool. Firmware repair. Don't quite know what that means. I don't know if that's the update. I think it's going to have another go at doing the update now. And that is where things went very wrong with the ESC70. The eagle-eyed ones amongst you will notice that that firmware repair option that I picked was actually putting it back a version to 1009. At the time it was on and had been updated to 10010. It completed that process, it went through the upgrade, repair, whatever you want to call it, process fine. But after that I had all kinds of problems trying to save settings and all that kind of thing. It would look like it was going to save them, but it wouldn't save them. It would come up with an error, all kinds of stuff. That's if I could ever get it switched on at all. As you noticed at the start of the video, or earlier on in the video, when I first powered this thing up on that ESC, it actually didn't power up, nothing happened, it was completely dead. I thought I'd got a DOA. I then spent a little bit of time tinkering about with it, and maybe used a different battery, I don't know. But randomly, and for no particular reason, it started working, so I thought, great, it was just a little bug, it's worked its way out, and we'll be all good. That wasn't the case. Although the firmware I've now upgraded to 10012, the firmware is brilliant. It works perfectly well, all the settings always change whenever you request them to change. They save, everything works, the throttle curves work, which are brilliant, but that's assuming I can get the thing to power on in the first place. And that's the big problem I have with this ESC right now. It does not like being powered from a full charge 3S battery. I don't know what's wrong with it. I've spoken to the people in at ISDT via the AliExpress support lines, and they've been pretty good. They asked me a few questions, sent them a video of it happening. As soon as they saw that video, they replied that their engineer had checked it out and he says it's a hardware fault and they've refunded me the money, which is great. I can't ask for much more than that really, but I'm now a bit stuck. So I have ordered another one, dutifully, for you, the YouTube viewer, to see if it is just a one-off that I got that was bad, or whether there's a problem with these things a little bit wider than that. I'm hoping it was just a one-off, because, and I have to say this, because it's only fair that I say this, when it works, this ESC is brilliant. It's absolutely fabulous. The app is great. I went out yesterday, and I'll show you this in a minute. I went out yesterday, had it running with a friend of mine, and it was great. It was really, really good. They have, I don't quite know what they've done, but they seem to have almost replicated the FOC type technology for downhill. So if you are slowly creeping down a hill on the drag brake and it's just rolling, and you want to go either a little bit quicker, or it stalls on a little ledge or something along those lines, and it just stops, and you want to give it a little bit of throttle to get it going again. If you do that with a normal brushed ESC, that essentially forces the brake to let go, and the car will come rocketing down the hill. And then you can put the brake back on and you get that really uneven, uncontrolled descending that's really difficult, and is one of the drawbacks, in my opinion, of a brushed system. That's completely gone with this CSE. I don't know what they've done, but they've sorted it. That's fixed. And that's without activating the active brake assistance that this comes with as well. I haven't even got to that yet. It's smooth, it's super quiet, and it's really slow at the low end. It's brilliant. It's a really good ESC, apart from the fact that I can't be sure when I power the thing on at the start of the trail whether it's going to come to life or not. And clearly that's a big problem. Hopefully it's a one-off. Now let's show you what I mean. So I've got two batteries here. They're identical batteries, 2200 milliamp 3S batteries. This one with the little tag on is fully charged. This one is at storage charge. So if I plug in this fully charged LiPo, and if nobody believes me, I will get the LiPo checker out. If I plug this in, absolutely nothing. That's completely dead. Nothing at all. Now it isn't the XT60, because as you see, the lights, which are direct powered, are switched on, so they're fine. It just doesn't want that full power. Now it's probably a faulty voltage regulator in there, or something along those lines. but as a result it just won't power up with that full charged battery. But if I plug a partially charged battery in, no problem. Works first time, every time, no problem at all. And when it is working, it is brilliant. Let me just pop this in here. I'll switch in a second to some running footage so you can see what I mean. But this thing is great. It's absolutely silent. It's super slow. I don't even know if the microphone will be picking that up. And because you can put a throttle curve on reverse as well, you can get it just crazy slow. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It really works really very well. Apart from that one thing. That one thing is a big thing. But I'm going to persevere with this because I really want this thing to work. I really want this ESC to be good. So I'm hoping the replacement when it comes is good. I can't state that enough. It's really nice. It's super smooth. It's super quiet because you can set the PWM frequency. So I've set mine to 20 and it's brilliant. It's completely silent. All you hear basically is the little whir of the motor and that's it, and the gears. Everything else is completely silent. Obviously you can set it to 7.4 volts for a higher voltage servo. There's just all sorts of stuff you can do with this thing. I just hope they've fixed that hardware problem, because if they have, this thing is going to be replacing Hobbywing 1080s right the way across the world. I will certainly buy more if it becomes reliable and if you can reliably get them in the UK. I hope this was a useful video. If you're wondering whether you should be buying an ISDT ESC70, I would say yes you should, but currently be prepared. You may have some problems. There are other people out there on YouTube who've had problems. I haven't seen anybody else with this weird battery problem though. So hopefully the fact that the firmware is now working okay and updating with the app, hopefully mine is just one faulty unit and all the rest will be fine. If that's the case, yes, you should buy it. It's amazing. It's $25 or £25 depending, and for that money it's fabulous. If they can't fix that, absolutely not. You should not be buying it because it's a duffer, but hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and hit that subscription button if you haven't done already. Hit the notification bell to find out when the next video comes out, as soon as it comes out. In the meantime, here's some more running footage. You can see what I mean. You can see the side-by-side test we did down a hill, and some nice slow crawling footage just for a few minutes so you can see how this thing goes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.